Alright boys, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to be talking about the pulse rifle, more specifically where to find it and how to use it. We'll be talking about stats in a minute, but the most important thing about this gun is its 100% accuracy feature, and that's what I really want to explain in this video, and more so just tell you how you should be using the assault rifle, because there's different ways of using each AR. For example, the SCAR can spray, but it can also do very good damage at range because its 100% accuracy resets super fast. The AUG, however, is good for lining up a double hit on people who are standing still. You know, hit a headshot and then maybe a body or a second headshot and really taking them out of the game. And that's real easy to do that because the AUG is more zoomed in than the rest of the weapons. So every weapon has a way to use it. And I'm going to be telling you how to use the pulse rifle to the best of my knowledge and how I've had success with the gun in the last few days. It's actually one of my favorite weapons in the new season because it's not overpowered and it's not shit, but it requires a lot of skill to be able to use it. So let's hop straight into that right now, and at any point throughout the video, if you want to hit that sub button, make sure you do it because we're doing double daily uploads, videos like this. We're talking rotations, we're talking strategy, we're talking metas. We do all that over here. We do VOD reviews. I have you covered every day, 2 times. We do streams. I got you, okay? I'm going to stop self-promoing. Let's hop straight into the video. Okay, boys, to start this video off, you can find the pulse rifle in any henchman chest. These are located at the locations that I have on screen right now in this picture of the map. Pretty easy to find them. They're not too hard, and you can find them in normal chests as well, but most likely the best chance you have of finding them is in these new henchman chests, and like I said, the locations are on screen right now. But let's talk about, is it actually worth using these weapons over the likes of a blue AR or a SCAR or even an AK, an AUG? You've got so many selection in the game, and what people don't seem to understand that the pulse rifle has its own playstyle. The same way the AUG is very good at hitting people at distance because it's more zoomed in and it's got that dual burst, so therefore it can hit one headshot and then potentially another headshot or a body. You get me? It's built that way. The SCAR is built so it can do good damage but still have a high fire rate. The AK is built where it does a shit ton of damage, it has shit bloom, but it does a lot of damage if you do hit those headshots. You know, you're getting those 70, 80 headshots, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 60, 70, I'm not sure. But the pulse rifle has its own strengths, which I'm going to label them out right now for you. It has the fact that you can hip fire with this gun, and I'm going to just reference the P90 here. When you jump with the P90 or even a suppressed SMG, you notice your crosshair gets super wide. It's already wide enough as hip fire, but when you jump, it gets even wider. With this pulse rifle, if you go for like a hip fire bloom fight with it, and like another great example is the AK. Have you ever tried to take a hip fire bloom fight with an AK? It's not really working out for you off spawn. But with the pulse rifle, if you have that and then you jump, the crosshair stays the same. You can still hit every shot, and it has such a slow fire rate that when you hip fire, the bloom resets before the next shot. So hopefully that makes sense. I mean, you shoot, it gets bigger and then it shrinks before the next shot. You shoot, it gets bigger and then shrinks before the next shot and then repeats. So you constantly basically have the same bloom. It doesn't ever get wider. And that's only when you're hip firing. When you're ADS'd with the pulse rifle, no matter what rarity, you can have 100% accuracy while standing, okay, which is pretty overpowered, but you can also walk around and borderline have 100% accuracy. Like, I mean, you can shoot all day with this gun, and it's not gonna, you know, like, bloom is not a thing with this weapon. On top of all of that, you can hold the trigger down. When you're ADS, let's say you're crouched on your ramp, and you hold the trigger down, you don't have to let go of the trigger. Every shot you take will actually be true 100% accuracy. You will see your crosshair get super small and then do the, you know, like the way the crosshair like faints and then gets bigger and faints and gets bigger after every shot. So every shot you're taking is 100% accuracy. And just to put it on the record, the purple and gold pulse rifles, I'm not too sure about the blue so I won't speak on it, but the purple and gold one do the same body damage as the purple and gold SCAR, which I would believe to be its biggest competitor. Like, to be honest, the AK does heavy damage. I don't see too many people using the AK, especially when it comes to FNCS and you have trios and you need to be spraying a lot. The bloom on that is not going to get you any storm surge tags at endgame. It's not going to help you out a lot. So I see people sticking with the SCAR or the AUG. And the AUG is very, very good compared to the SCAR and compared to the pulse rifle. It does a high DPS. It's got consistent bloom. And you can just 100% accuracy every time. And you can do a shit ton of damage once you get the timing down. The problem arises though with the AUG is when someone's in a vehicle, someone's eating peppers, when they move at that faster movement speed, there's no way to line up the 2 shots. It's actually impossible to hit the 2 shots. It's not doable. Sometimes you notice if you do hit someone in the car, you'll hit the driver, and as the car is moving, the second shot hits the backseat passenger. That can happen, but it's actually virtually impossible to hit a double burst from a side point of view. If someone's heading straight at you like that, you can hit the 2 bursts, but when they're going like left to right or right to left, it's impossible to hit them when they're that extra bit of speed, like I was referencing the peppers and stuff. So that's where the AUG loses out. When someone's moving very fast, you can't do a whole lot of damage to them, and that makes you have to peek for longer. And with this sniper meta, it's just not worth it. Now, I want to start breaking down the pulse rifle. That's what this video is about. When you use the pulse rifle, first thing that pisses me off, okay, and I'm just going to label out a lot of cons and a lot of pros, but the thing that pisses me off about it is that it doesn't do insanely high damage, but yet you still have to take so long to ADS. If you have used the weapon, it's like, that's how long it takes to ADS with the thing. I'm not even messing. It's kind of annoying, but at the end of the day, that's what we have to work with. So that's its biggest con. And the only reason it's its biggest con, it would be zero problem for the pulse rifle. Okay, it would be zero problem if there were no snipers or railguns. So people can, know when you're going to peek. Even if they have the new grenade launcher, the sensor grenade launcher, they can see when you're about to peek and just pre-fire you, and you cannot possibly win in that scenario. But what you can do to kind of, I guess, prevent that is ADS in before you peek. So when you're on your ramp, you're crouched, ADS in, so you don't have to wait that long time, then go up and start shooting. And then instead of un-ADSing, well, like obviously un-ADS, but it actually takes a long time to un-ADS as well, instantly swap to your build menu and build a wall in front of you, because while you're waiting for that to un-ADS or you're moving back down your ramp, you move very slow. So what I suggest you to do is swap to your build menu. You don't even have to build a wall, but by swapping to your build menu or to a different weapon, it cancels that animation, which is definitely a big W for you if you're using this weapon. On the second hand, it only holds 16 shots, okay? It's a bit more than the infantry rifle did, and again, it shoots consistently fast. I'm not saying it shoots slow. It shoots slower than every other gun in the game, and you don't really get rewarded for headshots either, because it's headshot damage and it has damage drop off at serious range. So after 100 meters, this gun is going to start doing, instead of doing its 35s and 36s, it's going to start doing 30. And that's a problem, because if someone hits you with a SCAR, even though it's only doing like 36 body or 35 body at that consistent 100 meters, what's happening is if you hit someone 35 and 35 versus 30 and 30, 30 and 30 adds up to 60, 35 and 35 adds up to 70. So now instead of getting hit for 60, you get hit for 70. And that's a big problem. That 10 damage is like actually life threatening, because you're going to start wasting heals for short amounts of health. And I don't want to dive too deep into this, because it really isn't really like a nitpicky problem. It's just something that is there. 10 damage is a big difference between the shots. Now, I'm probably boring you, so I want to start actually focusing on what this gun can do and what its benefits are. Benefits are constant 100% accuracy when you're fighting at ranges. So this only is really good for tournament situations to have a lot of players in the lobby, especially in solos. Solos, if you're playing an FNCS, I know there's no solo FNCSs, but I'm just saying, trios FNCS, okay, comes around. When you have this weapon, you have the advantage of having one of those grenade launchers and just start flinging it around the map, and then you're scanning people. And you can sit 100 or 200 meters away competing with someone who's using an AK. Okay, what's he going to do with the AK? He has a slower fire rate with the AK. Because if he keeps shooting with the AK, he's going to get loads of bloom. You have someone with the SCAR who can actually do a lot of damage to you if and only if he has good aim. With the pulse rifle, however, it requires a lot less skill, because you don't have to manage your 100% accuracy. You don't have to time your shots. You just hold that trigger and put your crosshair on him, and you keep hitting. So what's the words I'm thinking of? It rewards players who are very good at the game, because it just gets rid of bloom. So bloom isn't holding a good aimer back. And on top of that, it rewards people who are bad at aiming, because they don't have to fight bloom either. The only person who I feel it doesn't reward is controller players. Because controller players, I know aim assist isn't a big problem, but the advantage of aim assist is it's a lot more sticky than keyboard and mouse. So you can actually hit that extra shot because of aim assist holding on to them. And that's a big advantage that I suggest you stick with, because in this day and age, the winner of every fight is the winner with the most advantages. And the way you get the most advantages is by giving your opponent the most disadvantages. I would like to do a whole nother video on that, talking about advantages and disadvantages, how to do more stuff like that. But more importantly, if you want me to do this style of video with any genre of gun, comment down below, like for example, pump versus tack, pump versus lever. And whichever one has the most likes, I will do next, because I want to help as many of you people out. And make sure you do hit that sub button. Like I said, double daily uploads. I think that makes sense. Yeah, daily X2. And we do creative streams. And we have a Discord down below if you want to join it. Once we get to 1,000 members, we're going to be doing scrims. So hopefully this video helped you. I'm going to dip right about now. Thank you so much for watching. And here is that video I was talking about earlier.